there, history buffs and philosophy nerds. Think you know all about ancient Greek thinkers? Well, meet Diogenes, the OG savage of philosophy. This guy wasn't your typical boring, toga-wearing intellectual. Nope, he was a homeless man with a wicked sense of humor and zero filters. Picture this. While other philosophers were busy writing treatises and debating in fancy academies, Diogenes was out there living his best life in a giant jar. Yeah, you heard that right. A jar. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start with his philosophy. Diogenes was all about that cynic life. And no, I don't mean he was posting snarky comments on ancient Greek Reddit. Cynicism was all about living simply, according to nature, like a dog. Hence the name. Cynic comes from the Greek word for doglet. But how did our boy Diogenes end up as history's greatest philosophical troll? Well, it all started when he got exiled from his hometown for defacing currency. Some say he literally messed with coins. Others think it was more metaphorical. Either way, Diogenes took this setback and ran with it, deciding to deface the currency of social conventions instead. From that point on, Diogenes was all about those acts of freedom. He freed his slave, because why own people when you can own nothing? He tossed away his only bowl after seeing a kid drink water with his hands, and of course, there was the whole living in a jar thing. Talk about downsizing. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Diogenes' legendary roasts. This guy could put modern-day comedians to shame. Take the time. He trolled Plato's definition of man as a featherless biped. Diogenes showed up to Plato's academy with a plucked chicken, yelling, "Behold, I've brought you a man." Plato had to add with broad, flat nails to his definition after that. Imagine changing your philosophical theory because of a naked chicken. But Diogenes wasn't just about sick burns. Cue Diogenes walking in a crowd with a lit lantern in bright daylight. He was also into some, let's call them public antics, like wandering around in broad daylight with a lit lamp, claiming he was looking for an honest man. Or how about the time he, practiced self-love in the marketplace? Yeah, when people called him out, he just said he wished satisfying hunger was that easy. Yikes! Diogenes! TMI! Buddy! Yet the peak of Diogenes' savagery came when he met Alexander the Great. Picture this. The most powerful man in the world comes to meet the famous philosopher, expecting praise. Instead, Diogenes, lounging in the sun, just tells him, "Yes? Stand aside. You're blocking my sun. Stand out of my light." When Alexander, impressed by his boldness, asked if he could do anything for Diogenes, our guy just said, "Yeah, you can stop blocking my sun." Absolute mad cue. Close up on Alexander's shocked, then impressed face text on screen. If I were not Diogenes, I would also wish to be Diogenes. Diogenes lived as he died. Trolling, legend has it that on his deathbed, he instructed his followers to toss his body over the city wall for the animals to eat. Why waste a good meal, right? Now, before you go thinking, man, I should live like Diogenes, pump the brakes. There's actually a condition called Diogenes syndrome, named after our boy, where people become extreme hoarders and neglect personal hygiene. Not exactly the living simply vibe he was going for. So, what can we learn from Diogenes? Maybe it's that sometimes we need a little shock to our system to question our assumptions. Or maybe it's just that ancient Greece had better comedians than we thought. Either way, next time someone calls philosophy boring, hit him with the tale of Diogenes. The man, the myth, the savage. If you enjoyed watching a man verbally destroy history's greatest minds, do the most cynical thing possible. Smash that like button.